The festive air always seemed to arrive earlier than expected in Ahi town, and in our home it was no different. As soon as December came knocking, the countdown to Christmas officially began. My husband Emeka loved teasing me about my enthusiasm for the season. He would always say, "Annabel, you treat Christmas like a full-time job." And he wasn't wrong anyway. For me, Christmas was more than just a holiday. It was a time to pour love into my family, create memories for our three beautiful children, and cherish the little joys of life. Chiamaka, our oldest child, was the planner, who would sketch out everything from gift ideas to who should hang which ornament on the tree. Emeka, on the other hand, was our little troublemaker, always finding creative ways to bend the house rules in the name of fun. And then there was our youngest daughter, Ada. She had a laugh so infectious that it would light up a room. One evening, with the kids huddled around the dining table, I pulled out my Christmas planner, a notebook reserved exclusively for all things festive. "Alright team," I announced, clapping my hands together. "Let's make our Christmas to-do list." "New decorations?" Amaka yelled excitingly. "Don't forget the turkey," Emeka added from his spot on the couch. "Big chicken," Ada shouted, pointing to her dad, causing everyone to burst into laughter. In between the giggles and the suggestions, I jotted down everything: groceries, decorations, gifts, and of course, new Christmas clothes. The children were buzzing with excitement, and even Emeka, who pretended to be laid back, couldn't hide the jiggle in his eyes. By the time we finalized the list, the kids had started arguing over who would place the star on top of the tree. "Calm down," I said, laughing. "We'll draw lots for it when we set up the tree." That seemed to appease them for now. As I tucked the children into bed that night, my mind was always racing with plans. Christmas was just weeks away and there was so much to do, but in my heart, I knew that the joy on my family's faces would make every bit of effort worthwhile. Little did I know that this Christmas would turn out to be one of the most memorable we had ever had. The next weekend, with our to-do list in hand, Emeka and I packed the keys into the car and headed to the bustling Ahi town market. The streets were alive with the spirit of Christmas, hawkers shouting their wares, shops adorned with blinking lights, and carolers singing in front of storefronts. The atmosphere was infectious, and I could see the kids' excitement in their wide eyes. Our first stop was a decoration store, where rows of shiny ornaments, glittering tinsel, and twinkling fairy lights lined the shelves. Chiamaka immediately gravitated towards a set of sparkling silver and gold bubbles, declaring them perfect for our tree. Meanwhile, Ebuka and Ada were feasted at a giant inflatable Santa Claus that danced in the shop window. "Daddy, please, can we get the Santa?" Ada begged, tugging on Emeka's hand. Emeka looked at me, pretending to weigh his options. Will Santa fit into our car?" he teased, causing the children to erupt into laughter. In the end, we bought a beautiful set of decoration, including a brand new star for the top of the tree. We also picked up fairy lights to drap up the windows and a wreath for the front door. Back home, the real fun began. Emeka assembled the Christmas trees in the living room while the kids sorted through the decorations. "Be careful with the glass ones," I warned, watching Ada as she handled an ornament as if they were a ball. The decorating process was as chaotic as it was joyful. Chiamaka took charge, instructing her siblings on where to place each ornament. Emeka, of course, thought it would be funny to hang a pair of socks on the tree, prompting a stern look from his sister. "Emeka, this is serious business," she scolded, though her tone couldn't hide her amusement. Once the tree was up and glowing with lights and ornaments, it was time to place the star. As promised, we drew a lot, and to everyone's delight, Ada won. Emeka lifted her onto his shoulder, and with her tiny hands, she carefully positioned the star at the top. "Perfect," I said, clapping my hands as the kids cheered her up. That evening, as we sat on the couch admiring our work, the living room felt magical. The soft glow of the tree light reflected in the children's eyes, and I couldn't help but feel a swell of gratitude. "Mommy," Chiamaka said, snuggling next to me, "our tree is the best in the world." I smiled, kissing her forehead. "It's the best because we made it together." The following weekend was dedicated to grocery shopping, a task I both dreaded and enjoyed in equal measure. The Ahitown market was always crowded during festive season, but it was the best place to find fresh produce and all the ingredients for a proper Christmas feast. "Alright team," I announced as we got out of the car. "Let's stick together, no wandering off." I shot a glance at Ebuka, who had a mischievous grin plastered across his face. Our shopping list was extensive: a plum turkey, live chickens, bags of rice, yams, vegetables, spices, and all the ingredients needed for Emeka's favorite jollof rice. The market was alive with activity, vendors shouting to advertise their goods, the smell of roasted corn wafting through the air, and the shoppers bargaining for the best prices. Our first stop was the poultry section, where Ada insisted on naming every chicken we considered. "This one is Daisy," she said, pointing to a particular bird that flapped its wings aggressively. "Daisy is going to be dinner," Emeka teased, causing Ada to gasp dramatically. Next, we moved on to the spice vendor. I carefully selected dried peppers, curry powders, thyme, and other seasonings, while the children sniffed at the aromatic spices that wrinkled their noses. "This one smells like medicine," Ebuka declared, holding up a packet of cloves. "Medicine that makes food taste delicious," I replied with a smile. The highlight of the trip was the vegetable store, where we bought fresh tomatoes, onions, and greens. Chiamaka took charge of inspecting the tomatoes, turning each one over like a seasoned trader. "This one has a spot, mommy," she said, handing it back to the vendor. After 2 hours of navigating the bustling market, our baskets were overflowing and I was exhausted. "Are we done yet?" Ebuka whined, dragging his feet. "Just one more thing," I said, heading towards the store selling Christmas treats. We picked up chin-chin, puff-puff, and some candy canes for the kids. By the time we got home, the car was packed to the brim of groceries. Emeka and the kids helped unload everything while I started organizing the kitchen. As we unpacked the spices and the vegetables, I could already picture the meals we would prepare together. "Christmas is hard work," Chiamaka said, flopping onto the couch. "It's worth it," I replied, ruffling her hair. The weekend after our grocery shopping adventure, it was time to shop for Christmas clothes. A family tradition I treasured. Emeka teased me about my obsession with making sure everyone had a matching outfit. But deep down, I knew he loved the tradition as much as the kids and I did. "Mommy, I want a red dress," Ada announced as we walked into a brightly light clothing store. Chiamaka was quick to remind her, "We are all supposed to match, Ada. Don't you want us to look like a real Christmas family?" The store was packed with parents and children trying to find their perfect outfit for the season. The sound of laughter and Christmas carols playing softly in the background added to the festive atmosphere. I had already decided on a theme: green and gold for the adults and red and white for the children. "Let's start with the boys," I said, steering Ebuka towards the rack of neatly arranged shirts. "Can I pick my own?" he asked, his eyes lightening up as he spotted a superhero-themed shirt. "Not this time," I replied with a laugh. "You will wear what matches the family theme." After a bit of bargaining, he agreed to a crisp white shirt and a red bow tie. For Chiamaka, we found a beautiful red gown with gold accents. Her eyes sparkled as she tried it on in front of the mirror. "I look like a Christmas princess," she said, making Emeka chuckle. Ada of course wanted the same dress as her sister. Thankfully, the store had one in her size. The two of them looked like little angels, their excitement making me smile. Finally, it was my husband's turn. "You know I'm not a fan of shiny things," he warned as I handed him a green shirt with subtle gold embroidery. "You will look amazing," I assured him. "Trust me." For myself, I picked out a green gown with a gold sash that tied around the waist. I was elegant yet comfortable, perfect for a day filled with family activities. By the time we left the store, everyone was satisfied with their outfits, and the kids couldn't stop talking about how they could show off their clothes to their cousins. "This Christmas is going to be the best one yet," Ada declared, holding tightly to her a bag of goodies. Once we got home, it was time to turn our house into a Christmas wonderland. Emeka and the kids worked on hanging fairy lights around the windows and doorways while I set up a small nativity scene in the corner of the living room. The children were in charge of decorating the dining table. They insisted on using a fancy tablecloth and our best plates, even though it was still days away from Christmas dinner. "We were practicing," Chiamaka explained, carefully arranging the napkins. By the time we were done, the house was glowing with Christmas cheers. The smell of fancy baked cookies wafted through the air, courtesy of Chiamaka and me. As we sat together that evening, sipping hot chocolate and admiring our work, I felt a deep sense of gratitude. Christmas wasn't just about the decorations or the gifts, it was about the love and laughter we shared as family. The week leading up to Christmas was filled with visits and gifting, a time of honored tradition in both Emeka's family and mine. It was a season of giving, and we made sure to prepare small hampers of goodies for our loved ones. Each hamper contained chin-chin, cookies, packs of juice, and a bottle of wine. We wrapped them in colorful cellophane and tied them with red and gold ribbons. The kids helped arrange the items, though Emeka sneaked a cookie or two when he thought I wasn't looking. On Christmas Eve, we loaded the car with the hamper and headed to Emeka's parents' house. Grandpa and Grandma were excited to see us. The kids immediately dashed off to explore the garden, while Emeka and I settled in for a chat with his parents. "Christmas always feels special when you all come around," Grandma said, hugging me tightly. She handed me a tin of homemade peanuts, one of her specialties. From there, we visited my parents, who greeted us with open arms and a table filled with snacks. My mother always went all out during the holidays, and this year was no exception. The kids were spoiled with gifts and stories from grandpa, while my mom and I shared moments in the kitchen, talking about the past Christmases. Later, we stopped by to see my younger sister Nkechi, who had recently had a baby. "The house is so quiet without you all," she said, laughing as the kids made a beeline for her Christmas tree. By the time we got home that evening, we were exhausted but happy. The kids were buzzing with excitement, chatting about their favorite moments of the day. Christmas morning in our house was magical. The kids woke up at the crack of dawn, bouncing on their bed and singing Christmas carols. "It's Christmas, it's Christmas," they sang, their voice filled with glee. The first order of business was opening presents. The kids tore into their brightly wrapped gifts with square of delights. Ada got a dollhouse, Chamaka received a set of art supplies, and Ebuka was excited with his new soccer ball. For Emeka, I had picked out a leather wallet he had been eyeing for months, while he surprised me with a beautiful gold bracelet. "Merry Christmas, my love," he said, slipping it into my wrist. After the gift exchange, we headed to the kitchen to prepare breakfast. It was a simple spread of pancakes, scrambled eggs and a hot chocolate, but it felt special because we made it together. The rest of the morning was spent lounging around the house, watching Christmas movies and playing board games. The kids' laughter echoed through the living room as they argued over who would be the banker in Monopoly. By late afternoon, it was time to prepare the much anticipated Christmas dinner. Emeka took charge of grilling the turkey while I handled the jollof rice and other dishes. The kids set the table with their usual enthusiasm, adding extra decorations to make it feel festive. As we sat down to eat, the atmosphere was filled with joy and gratitude. The food was delicious and the conversations were lively. We shared stories, jokes, and dreams for the coming year. Later in the evening, we were joined by extended family members who came over for desserts and drinks. The house was buzzing with life, the air filled with the sound of laughter and Christmas carols. As the day wound down, I found myself reflecting on the true meaning of Christmas. It wasn't just about the gifts or the foods, but the love and togetherness that made the season so special. That night, as I tucked the kids into bed, they hugged me tightly. "This was the best Christmas ever," Ada whispered, her eyes heavy with sleep. And as Emeka and I sat together in the quiet of the living room, sipping a final glass of wine, I couldn't help but agree that Christmas was truly magical, and I was grateful to share it with the people I loved so much.